Good morning, everybody, and a happy Saturday morning to you. I hope everybody has had a fabulous weekend. Reminder again, there is no video on Sunday for New Year's Eve. There's no video on Monday for New Year's Day. And Tuesday, my first video is going up Tuesday on Patreon. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays is YouTube. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays is Patreon. So don't forget to go and subscribe to my Patreon channel so you can get all 24 videos for the month. All right, we have some news to cover, so let's jump in there and get there, shall we? Let's go. I'm starting off because I want to show you how things go in this house between the animals. So here's Tigger, my 17-year-old cat, and there's Finn. And Finn noticed Tigger and put his head back. They were moving really fast. He put his head back and he was sniffing on Tigger. And Tigger was not happy. And in this next picture, if you look, you can see Tigger's paw moving. Look at that paw on the left and Finn's head. He's like, get off of me. And this is how it ended up. It was like a stare down. But after that, this is how it ended up. See what I mean? It's like they hate each other, but they love each other. Yeah. All right, let's start today. Let's just go. We are going to start off with Catherine and Charlotte because apparently they both had braids in their hair on Christmas Day. Now, normally I would be like, okay, whatever, but I didn't see any braiding, at least not in Catherine's hair. I saw Charlotte's. And then again, you had this picture and I was like, oh, there it is. I didn't realize that, yes, they braided the front of Catherine's hair so that it would be back out of her face so that, the hat would fit better and she wouldn't have the hair all flying in her face and looking unkempt. I think that's really cool and it's interesting. I have never tried that, but now that I've seen it, I may just have to try that. All right, let's move on. Next up, this article came out saying that Charles basically has 5 problems. Well, he's got more than 5, but these are the biggest problems that he's going to be working on in the next 12 months as king. One of the 5 issues is the fact that Harry and Meghan remain very unpredictable. There's no reconciliation in sight. They keep attacking the royal family, and that's nothing that Charles can control. Another big problem is his wanting to slim down the monarchy because after reviewing all the patronages, they have only 4 senior working royals under 70, so they're not going to be able to slim down anytime soon. His next big issue is royal tours. We know he has several lined up, and he's hoping that, there'll be less of an issue every time he goes on tour. Another big problem, the 4th big problem, is Andrew, because there's more investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, and now more files are going to be released, and it's just a perpetual embarrassment. It just keeps coming back and coming back. It's just never ending. And finally, thank God, you have The Crown, which is now ended, but has been criticized because it is not historically accurate and they refuse to put up any kind of a disclaimer. So people that are watching this show are stupid enough to think that it's based on reality. And talking about The Crown, I completely agree with Mommy's mama. I bet that Meghan Markle had a field day because I'm sure what they wanted for Harry was on the left, but what Netflix did was on the right. I mean, my goodness. But yet, look at this picture of Harry. This is him when he was younger. And this is who they hired. Oh my God. All right, moving on. All right, I just had to touch on this puff piece. King Charles gave a snub to Harry and Meghan because he omitted them from his Christmas Day speech. And there's no mention of them in the BBC documentary about his coronation. Okay, so let's do the coronation thing. Harry flew in, Harry flew out. And William also didn't give an interview or any of that. And Harry didn't participate in the coronation. So that wasn't a snub. That was his choice to hop a plane and leave immediately after. And as far as the Christmas Day speech, he only talked about the working royal family members. As a matter of fact, he didn't mention any family members. The only thing he did was flash up pictures of them as they were working. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is nothing but a puff piece to try to make you feel bad for, think bad about the royal family and good Harry, bad royal family. But it doesn't work. All right, moving on to one of our two big stories for today. Everybody's all abuzz about the fact that Fergie walked for the first time in 30 years with the royal family on Christmas Day at Sandringham. And they're saying that maybe this could possibly be a way back for Harry and Meghan. No, I don't think so. Well, maybe in 30 years, that's how long it took Fergie. Now, there is one big difference between Harry, Meghan, and Sarah Ferguson, one big way. Andrew and Sarah have never, ever attacked the royal family. Quite the opposite, actually. While Sarah has done some crappy things in her personal life and her marriage to Andrew went down the tubes, that's their personal life. She never has done anything but praise the royal family. And King Charles even said in his Christmas Day broadcast, the words of Jesus seem more than ever relevant, a sentiment supported by his own actions. So they're saying in the article, he demonstrated his capacity for forgiveness by inviting Sarah to join her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, and other senior members, for the church service at Sandringham. I think it's really nice also that Andrew was invited to be with the senior royals as well, because I'm sure he's very tormented by what's about to come out in the court documents. But Harry and Meghan, forgiveness is one thing, but what they've done is just, I don't know how you can forgive what they've done. So like I said, it took Sarah 30 years to get back in the good graces. Let's see how long it takes Harry and Meghan. We know they're sure trying to. All right, another puff piece, I just had to touch on it. Harry and Meghan are inundated with big money offers for 2024 multi-million-dollar deals. Haven't we been hearing about these for quite some time? We keep hearing about these deals, but they never materialize. She was going to be the face of Dior. There was a Hollywood comeback on the cards. These deals are in place, multiple book deals. Owners of a publication rights to a novel. Okay, first of all, that novel that was purchased is owned by Netflix, not by Harry and Meghan. The book deals were already in place, and Harry actually got more money than what the book sold, so I don't know how that's going to go. I think they think that they're working, but they're really not. And let's not forget archetypes. They signed a contract. It took 2 to 3 years to get it up and running. Then Spotify canceled their deal. And then what happened? Harry and Meghan blamed Spotify, saying that Spotify didn't give them enough direction. They didn't know the lay of the land. They didn't know what they were doing. Only to have the CEO come out and basically say, they're grifters. Come to find out, Meghan didn't do half of her own interviews. She voiced over somebody else's stuff later on. And then we heard that they were so proud of what they did that they're going to market it to other streaming services. And what do you know? Nobody's picked it up. And now you don't hear one word about Archwell Audio anymore. And also, for those of you who don't know, they had between 12 and 20 producers helping. All right, here's the other big story we're going to cover. Now, in 2018, December 1st of 2018, this article came out by Meghan's former agent saying that Meghan absolutely was going to return to Hollywood as soon as she had more babies. Now, I find that statement from her former manager very interesting, especially when you look at her engagement interview. Do you guys remember this?
And it's an immense change. You're getting a new country out of it, a husband, obviously, but also giving up your
nice,
career.
This is nice. Yes, but I don't see it as giving anything up. I just see it as a change.
It's a new challenge. It's
a new chapter, right? And also keep in mind, I've been working on my show for 7 years. So we were very, very fortunate to be able to have that sort of longevity on a series. And for me, once we hit the 100 episode marker, I thought, you know what, I have ticked this box and I feel really proud of the work I've done there. And now it's time to, as you said, work as a team with you.
Most of us knew that that wasn't true, that it was like a what do you call it, a smash and grab. She grabbed Harry, she ran back to Hollywood, and she thought that Harry was going to get her into the movies where she could never get in before. So here we have an article, if you'll notice the date, September 5th of 2022, Meghan Markle won't return to acting despite moving closer to Hollywood. Here's another article from October of 22. Meghan says she's done with acting. No plans to return. Absolutely not. Then in August of 23, you saw articles like this. She's going to bite the bullet and make a triumphant return to acting and a massive Hollywood U-turn, because I find that interesting because she was never in Hollywood. So how can she return to something that she was never a part of in the first place? You guys get where I'm going? Now, in another article that came out in November, they're saying that she absolutely will not return to acting, even though Suits is blowing records in Netflix. I mean, that's no different than when they told us Archetypes was ranking #1 and come to find out it wasn't even close, or that Harry's book did so well and come to find out it was a financial failure. Here are the top rated shows for Netflix for 2023, and Suits is not on it. So Meghan went back to quote unquote acting when she was in that ridiculous coffee Instagram commercial for the company that doesn't ethically source and has lead in its coffee. So this is what's coming out now. They're saying that they're coming out with a new Suits, a spinoff. I love how they conveniently leave out that she was like a number 6 on the show. She wasn't even the star of the show. She was not a lead character. Anyway, yes, they're going to do a spin-off of Suits all of a sudden after all these years. And they're going to make it, I think they said LA, Suits LA, like it's a spin-off, and it's going to have a whole new cast, and it's going to be young and fresh and all this kind of stuff. I don't think it's going to do well. I got to be honest. I don't think it's going to do well at all. So here's what's being said by sources. Now remember, Harry and Meghan said if they had anything to say, it would come directly from them. Don't listen to these little sources, and they only deal with big, news agencies. What they're saying now is that she's going to turn instead to reality TV. She wants to be like on one of the Real Housewives franchises. Could you imagine? You go from being on Suits to becoming a royal duchess to leaving that behind, and you end up on the Real Housewives of Montecito. My God. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. I just can't imagine how the mighty have fallen. My God. Now, I usually agree with my Twitter users, but on this tweet, I'm going to disagree because I think Meghan is going to want to be on the show, even if it's just a cameo, even if it's just a walk-on. She's absolutely going to want to be there. People are saying that Meghan Markle said herself that she would never return to acting when she did that 40 by 40 campaign. You remember the one that failed? But that's actually not what she said. Listen to this.
Are you finally going to do a Suits reunion?
Okay, I love Suits, but why would I do a Suits reunion for my birthday?
Why would the cast of Friends do a reunion for my birthday? But they did it.
They did say they would only ever do it for a historical event.
All right, you guys, you know what to do. Put those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. If you've already subscribed, double check, make sure you're still subscribed. If you've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a safe and happy new year. I will see everybody in 2024.